the biggest news in the SEO space for the last couple of weeks was coming from a dear friend of mine called Rand Fishkin, whom I recently interviewed on the Joost SEO podcast. Considered as a plug for the Joost SEO podcast. Rand knows a lot about a lot of things, but he's been out of search for a while, and then every once in a while he comes back and publishes this, which I'm not all that sure about whether it's actually useful to anybody, because we complain as an industry about Google keeping more and more traffic to themselves with featured snippets and all that stuff, as though Google owns us something, as though they owe it to us to give us more traffic or whatever. But it's their traffic and it's their users, and I think it's just weird. What's happening around this? Well, Rand published a study that says almost 65% of searches do not result in a click. Some people were questioning the methodology and the data behind that. I honestly don't really care about the percentage, because yes, it's true. A number of searches do not end in a click. Is this a problem? No, I don't think it is. If you're searching for meta description and you see a featured snippet that explains what a meta description is, as a user, that is a perfect user experience. Why would you need to click to a website to see the actual result? And if you had nothing more to add than just that, then maybe your added value is not that big. At the same time, if you are the one in that featured snippet explaining what a meta description is, that is a very worthwhile brand experience. People will not click to your site, but they will have the positive brand impact of being able to get a result like that. So I'm fine with that myself. But Google's Danny Sullivan felt compelled to, dispute it and say, hey, we are actually sending more traffic all the time. Honestly, I think they're doing fine. Is there anything that I didn't say here that we should say, Jono?
Yes, the elephant in the room is copyright, particularly when it comes to the content of publishers, newspapers, writers, etc., where if I search for something as a user and I get the answer I want directly in the search results, that is a great user experience, but it breaks the commercial and monetization models of some of the types of brands who produce that information. And there's a big question mark around how should that relationship work? Is it even legal? And what are the options? And Google will quite quickly say, you can opt out of this by blocking your site via robots text. Which, yes, is correct, but then you get no traffic from Google. So it's not a great compromise. But as you said, we're not really entitled to traffic from Google. And it's never been Google's objective necessarily to send traffic to websites. More specifically, they want to solve user problems. And there is a clear direction of travel here that the world is changing and the business models need to change with that, that we need to be focusing less on how do I gobble up all these clicks and turn them into money, and focusing more on how do I find a way to generate value when people are searching for problems they have in my space? Which is harder, it's more abstract, it's more brand reliant, it's less KPI and click centric, but that's where this is going and that's where we need to be thinking. And the more we fight with this and argue with it, the more we root ourselves in a world where we're kind of addicted to driving these clicks, and it's just not the direction that Google's going in. Legal pressures, etc., might change the direction of some of this, but I don't see that really happening. I think the challenge here is to adapt, not to fight. So we need to be thinking about how we use the search results as a branding platform, not as somewhere to be chasing those clickety clicks. That wasn't brief, was it? That was lots of words.
I fully agree with what you're saying. No, it is very much about not being an intermediate, but adding value. And if you do that, then none of this will ever be a problem to you.